I would like you to think about who was your favorite boss? What made them your favorite boss? Of all the bosses you had, whether it was in fast food or working in an office, working in the back room, stocking supplies, who was your favorite boss and why? How did they communicate with you and your colleagues? What kind of words did they use? What set them apart? How did they make you feel? Brene Brown, in a book called Dare to Lead, she wrote, "The courage to be vulnerable is not about winning or losing. It's about the courage to show up when you can't predict or control the outcome." And whether you are a new leader or you are a leader embarking in a new role, new place of employment, new project, there is vulnerability in trying something new and it takes courage. And so in this session, I am going to talk about my transition from analyst to a director of two informatics analyst teams at a large healthcare system in the southern Midwest during the rollout of an enterprise wide electronic health record system. And I will share some lessons learned about communication, planning, and struggles with work life balance as a new leader. Here's my career path for those that are interested. My first degree was not in nursing, it was a Bachelor of General Studies with an emphasis in sociology. And I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. I took a job as an assistant foster parent where we focused a lot on communication and boundaries. I also took a role at a local healthcare system as a scheduler. I was scheduling physician to physician appointments, like your family doctor is referring you to a dermatologist. It was my job to get those appointments scheduled and to help facilitate anything that needed to be sent over from one office to the other. And then transitioned to a hotline call representative, which was a part time role, so I could work on my nursing degree next. And that hotline call representative role, I worked with nurses. There was a nurse advice hotline and also just a general hotline for the community to call in and ask questions like, when is the clinic open? Or, how do I get to the hospital? Or can I talk to an after hours nurse about this fever that my child has? It was a very interesting role. So I got my bachelor's, an accelerated bachelor's of science in nursing in 2009 and began working on a med surge unit. I also moved into the med surge float pool and got some great experience there. And then at the same time, also started working as an adjunct faculty at a local university, getting to teach first semester nursing students the basics like how to put on a sterile glove and documenting how much did your patient eat that day during that shift. And that rolled into becoming the nursing skills lab coordinator where I got to set up that equipment for those skill sessions. Also got to work in the sim lab working with high fidelity mannequins and doing really cool, fun simulations with pre briefs and debriefs and just really digging into that fun stuff. At the same time, I was working on my master's in nursing education. And that led me next to a role called principal trainer, where I created curriculum for training new nurses how to use the electronic health record system for a local hospital. So that was creating curriculum. It was talking with operational people, doing lots of scheduling, a lot of logistics, that kind of thing. And then I started working on my nursing informatics board certification. And that led next to a role as a clinical decision support specialist, which was a fancy title for basically analyst working on Epic for a health system, creating new workflows, creating decision support to guide the clinicians on evidence based practice. And while in that role, I started working on my doctorate in nursing informatics at UT Health in Houston. It's a great program, by the way. Um, so I worked on my doctorate and I got promoted to senior systems analyst, where I led small projects and supported our electronic health record system, or our EHR, and then was promoted to director of clinical informatics in 2022. So let's talk about my employer. Christus Health is a Catholic health ministry, not for profit. The ministry includes more than 600 centers, including community hospitals, urgent care centers, ERs, health insurance companies, physician clinics, lots of places. And Christus Health employs more than 45,000 associates. Our mission is to extend the healing ministry of Jesus Christ, and the values are dignity, integrity, excellence, stewardship, and compassion. So, Christus Health embarked on a project to roll out the one EHR across the enterprise. Currently, there are multiple systems in use due to acquisitions and mergers, as you've seen across the country. Pretty typical story. And Christus chose one primary EHR. And so, with 30 plus hospitals and 40 plus ERs and hundreds of clinics crossing multiple states, the project to standardize is an enormous undertaking. There are policy and legal implications. Policies differ between sites, scopes of practice differ across state lines. Laws surrounding healthcare may differ across state lines as well. And one example is how to report sexual assault in the ER. Immunization reporting can be different between states depending on what functionality they have in place for receiving electronic data from health systems. And then with such a large health system, populations across the enterprise differ. So you have different service lines, different populations being served, and different needs there of the documentation. So this project to unify to one EHR required restructuring of departments in IT and in informatics, and then the revenue cycle. And this led to consolidation of some teams, creation of brand new teams, a new leadership structure. I was a senior systems analyst for the sites that were on the selected EHR platform when I was promoted to director. And I want to talk about some of the things that I've learned in this role over the past year, particularly focusing on communication, change management, and work life balance. So, communication strategies for engaging a diverse workforce. Stepping into this leadership role, which is my first official, like paid leadership role, has been invigorating, exciting, scary, overwhelming, mind numbing with the amount of information coming at me all the time. Um, and then also doing it during a pandemic with a hybrid work environment and with blended teams, has brought additional challenges. So let's talk about my teams. I have two teams with 23 staff total between the two teams. The staffing has changed throughout the project. I haven't always had 23 staff. I've had more and I've had less at different points over the past year. It's been crazy. We've been using consultants to help get us through the book of work ahead of us and behind us. We've had internal transfers, we've had promotions, we have people leave, and we opened up some brand new positions because of the need for more full time employees to complete the work, even after we're done with this project. Maintaining an enterprise wide system requires some human resources. So let's talk about backgrounds. Backgrounds are diverse amongst these teams. I work with people with a background in ER nursing, in labor and delivery nursing, in pharmacy, in lab, and even some employees don't have any healthcare background, but maybe have an IT background or various different kinds of backgrounds.